Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, are 17 global goals that the United Nations General Assembly set in 2015 for the year 2030. They address the global challenges we face, such as poverty, inequality, climate, environmental degradation, prosperity and peace. The private sector has been called on to play a key role in achieving this global development agenda. Through the customers and projects we finance, we mainly contribute to the following 4 SDGs: decent work and economic growth, reduce inequalities, responsible consumption and production, and climate action. We want to provide our clients the possibility to support other companies and organizations that contribute to these SDGs as well. Therefore, we set up investment funds that contribute to this.
Sustainable development for a housing company means CO2 neutrality. CO2 emissions from housing or from real estate in general make up for about 30% of total CO2 emissions, so it's very meaningful. And that's why it is key that as the largest homeowner in Europe, we make sure that our portfolio is virtually CO2 neutral by 2045. To that effect, we have a climate path in place, a clear strategy, very measurable, to make sure that we reach that goal and remain a leader in the industry. Here at Vonovia, we have developed what we call a Sustainability Performance Index, or SPI. It's an index with 6 criteria alongside the 3 ESG dimensions, the E, the S, and the G. And it is to make sure that we have measurable targets on which we can deliver to make sure that we have a sustainable performance. And it's probably important to know that this SPI is relevant for the long-term compensation of all decision makers here at Vonovia. I think it's very important for investors to understand to what extent sustainability and the performance of sustainability of a company is measurable. I think you need to have, as a company, clear targets. They need to be measurable so that investors can track the success or lack of success of a company in terms of sustainability. And here at Vonovia, we have set very clear near, midterm, and long-term targets, so you as an investor can measure and decide for yourself how successful we are. Actually, the entire portfolio is affordable. All of our units are targeted to the low to mid-income bracket, and I think one number shows that very clearly. If you compare the average German disposable household income to the average cost of a Vonovia portfolio, that number is around 20%, so clearly affordable. When we think of an environmentally footprint of new buildings, we think in terms of wood. I do not believe that cement and concrete can be the building materials for the next 50 years. That's just simply not sustainable. And when we think of wood, we think of modular construction. So the idea is not to do brick by brick as we've done for the last 50 years, but to change to a more modular, prefabricated building style where entire elements are prefabricated in a factory and then just delivered to the site where they were assembled, which is much quicker, and because it's wood, much more environmentally friendly. I will have to say it is what we call the energy center of the future here in Bochum. It is a real-life research lab, if you will, where in an actual urban quarter that we own, we test different strategies of reducing CO2, especially for heating. So we're combining photovoltaics, heat pumps, hydrogen storage, and other strategies, and try to find out what works best in what combination and in what circumstance to reduce the CO2 footprint. So it's really research and development, and that is probably the one project that, if I had to pick one, that here at Vonovia we're most proud of. First of all, I think the future and the success of our sustainable development will lie in walking along the climate path and reducing our CO2 footprint to virtually zero by 2045. And while we do that, and with the tools and measures and experience we gain and develop along the way, I think we will also develop a lot of expertise that will be helpful for the industry in general, because we believe that as Europe's leader in housing, it is upon us to develop new strategies on how to fight climate change in housing, and the future for Vonovia is just that, to get it done in our own portfolio and to help other owners achieve the same.